Welcome in. We're doing our NFL Draft Player Spotlight. Locked On NFL Draft coverage is presented by Ultimate Football GM. If you think you can run an NFL franchise, you can prove it by visiting ultimate-gm.com to play the Ultimate NFL GM simulation game. Start your dynasty today. I'm Kainani Stevens, Jay Stevens, no relation in from Locked On Buckeyes, because we have to talk Ohio State football. We've talked a couple of people already. Now we are going to talk about Jaxon Smith-Njigba because why not? Is he a top wide receiver? Everybody I've been talking to from Ohio State, I'm like, are they the best at their position? So again, I will say, is he the best wide receiver that's going to be available in this NFL draft first round?
I say yes. I say he is. And I'm not saying that just because I'm an Ohio State guy. There are things that Njigba does consistently on the football field, either finding the soft spot in the zone or being able to figure out the right area, be able to alter his route to be able to get open. Like, he does so many of the minute details so well to be able to get the yak yardage and to catch the ball and immediately find a way to get upfield. So it's not just a 10-yard gain where he caught the ball, but for it to be a 12, 14, or 18, or 25-yard gain because he's able to get up the field. His hands are excellent. They are elite. His route running is phenomenal. And I do believe he is the best receiver available in this year's draft. It's one thing I didn't think I would say a month ago or 2 months ago, or even during the season. But the more I think about it, I think if you want a sure-handed guy that's good at yak yardage and is good at just at getting open and catching the football, that's Jaxon Smith-Njigba.
We talk a little bit about, obviously he has a tremendous skill set, but he's also young as well, which in the NFL, the younger the better. If you have that skill set to also be young, that has to be something that NFL teams are going to be excited about.
Oh, yeah, the youth is great, but I'm also going to do something with the youth that I wasn't thinking about, but he just came off an injury, a hamstring injury that really kept him out most of the season. Believe he only played 3 games. Think he only had 5 catches in the games he played in 2022. But one thing we know about us when we're younger, our bodies heal quicker when we're younger than they do when we're older. And so that actually aids him, not just the NFL liking him, but also the body recovery from the hamstring injury. And so that may be why some people say, oh, he's not my number one receiver, because I'm questioning his recovery from his hamstring injury. That's understandable. That makes sense. What also makes sense is the fact that his body is going to recover very well and quicker with his hamstring injury than it would be if he was 2 years older, 5 years older, so on and so forth. So I do think the youth benefits him on the field and actually also off the field, recovering from the hamstring injury a year ago.
I know a lot of people are always concerned when there's injuries involved because we don't know what we're going to get back, but I think that's a fair point. Obviously, his upside has to be wide receiver 1 on pretty much any team he goes to, but is there a specific kind of scheme or offensive style in which he would be really successful at the NFL?
So with him, I have been one that's been a believer that he could probably play in any scheme. However, I think he's more of a slot receiver in the National Football League, more of that centered. Now, I've heard some people say he could be an outside receiver, more of a Z kind of guy that's on the move. But I still believe more, if you want him to be what he is and to do it at an exceptional level, probably a team that runs more of a 3 wide receiver set. Now, if you're running more 2 tight end sets or 3 tight end sets, it doesn't leave room for a slot guy, which does limit him in your offense. But if you're trying to just utilize him in the best way he is and his ability on the football field in the best way that you can, I think a team that runs 3 receivers consistently is going to allow him to do things like he did at Ohio State in 2021.
If you're an NFL team and you haven't seen Njigba because he didn't play too much this season, what kind of player are they going to get right out of the gate for their team?
You're going to get a smart player. And I don't say that about every player at Ohio State. If we went on about every guy getting drafted at Ohio State, I would have some things to say that you might think, Jay, you're an Ohio State guy. Yeah, but I want to be honest and real with you as well. I think you're getting a smart player, a guy who is sound, a guy that's very savvy, and he understands the nuances of playing the receiver position. And he, like I mentioned earlier, he understands that he has to alter his route and alter what he does mid-route to be able to catch the football. He's able to, strong hands. He's a sturdy guy, so it's going to be, you may hit him, he may bounce off of you and keep going up the field to keep getting the yardage that's needed. But I think he's the kind of receiver that he's just what you want at that slot guy. Come in, 60, 65, maybe 70 catches in his rookie year in that right area, right situation. I think he can be somebody that a team says, oh, in the rookie year we got this. We can build on it. Yeah, he missed 2022. That doesn't matter. We're finding that he is still the guy that we saw in 2021.
It's absolutely the best case scenario. Of course, we're going to follow Locked On Buckeyes because there are a lot of Ohio State players that are headed to the NFL. And of course, we'll keep up with you there, Jay. All of this is a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.